Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome back to the channel. And to all you dads out there, happy Father's Day. Well, today I finally decided, since it's Father's Day, I'm gonna go ahead and take the time. Hold on just a minute. Whoops. There we go, that's a little bit better. I'm gonna go ahead and take the time and get these Ducky Injectors installed in my truck. I've had these for a couple of weeks and I just have not had time to be able to get them in. I was gonna do it last Monday, but as you know, I went and picked up the dually instead. Haven't really made any progress on that. I did get some of the stuff de-grandpa'd, as one of you guys said. I just took out that boat basket cup holder and kind of cleaned it out, took all the trash out of it. Did figure out why that battery was so warm. I tested the alternator. I just used the voltmeter and it's putting out like 40 volts. So I need to get that off of there and actually take it someplace and have it tested. O'Reilly, AutoZone, Advanced, and then places Napa. And then places can test it, but from what I can see, there's something wrong and it's way overcharging. So haven't really decided on differential stuff yet. Probably gonna go with Yukon, Eaton, not sure. Still, just we got to tear it apart and see what is all going on. But you know, that's for another day. Today we have some Ducky Injectors going on, and like I told you guys before, these are built off Bosch bodies. I want to get these in the truck, and they are a VCO style nozzle versus a SAC style that I put in the truck from Stealth Diesel. So we're going to see what the difference is as far as mileage, performance, fuel consumption, whatever you want to do. We're going to see what the SACs do versus the VCOs built off Bosch bodies or built off aftermarket bodies. So it's just going to be a comparison. Not knocking Stealth Diesel in any way. Andy's got a great company over there. He sells a lot of nice parts, but I just wanted to go with something different. So I reached out to Ducky at Fuel Injection. They hooked me up with a set of VCO style injectors, and that's what we're gonna go with. So as you can see, there's quite a bit that has to come off to be able to pull your injectors. Your throttle position sensor has to come off. Your intake horn has to come off, and grid heater out of the way. I do leave this boost tube in there. I just pull the boot off the top. All of your injector lines have to come off, and you can get those off without having to separate them. It's a little bit tight, but I've got a 3/4 inch wrench, wherever it may be laying, that I've tuned up just a little bit to be able to use it for injectors. I took my Craftsman 3/4 inch wrench, I cut the box end off, and I did some grinding on that top portion of that just for more clearance, because there's not a whole lot of torque on those injector lines. So that's what I did to be able to have just a little bit more room to be able to get in there. Now I know I've heard about some people using crow's foots and being able to get in there, but this is just the way I do it, and you can do it without separating your lines. There is a couple of more steps that has to be done before the injectors have to come out. The injector caps have to come off, and the fuel delivery tubes have to be pulled out. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. And to do this, I'm right at about 20 minutes to tear it down to where it is. And get these pulled off. So it's not too bad of a job. It's just, if you've never done it before, set aside the better part of a day to be able to do it. Just because if you've never done it before. I've done this a couple of times, so I've learned just a little bit of tips. I've taught myself a little bit of tips to be able to take them out as quick as I possibly can. And yeah, I don't know. You get it. But anyway, that's where we're at. Sometimes I have also saw people take the head return line, the excessive fuel return line from the back of the head. I've saw them take that loose from the VP44 to be able to get to all of your line set on the back of the VP. So this is just the way I do it. I don't have one of those fancy removal tools. I just am very careful and use a screwdriver and pry each one of the fuel delivery tubes out. I do have new O-rings for those that will be put on also, and then also for the injectors, I just use one of the valve cover bolts or one of the bolts I have laying around. It's the same thread. The top of the injector is threaded. You just run a bolt down in there and you're able to use leverage, the exhaust valve, to be able to pull those out, or stick a screwdriver in here and pry up ever so slightly on the head of the bolt, and they pop right out. It's pretty easy. While I have this off, I should check my valve latch too, but I just don't have that kind of time today because we do have some plans later on in the day. So right now I'm going to get the rest of the caps off and delivery tubes out and get these new Duckies installed. Alright, with everything out, the new injectors are ready to go back in. I just want to take a second and show you the difference between the sack style and the VCO. You can tell the difference in the shape of the nozzle. Hopefully it'll focus. And you see how that one's more rounded up by the base and this one's more teardropped. There we go. So that's what the difference between a sack style and a VCO nozzle are. And then also the way the needle rises and the fuel is delivered from each one of the nozzles. So going to get all these looked all right coming out. So I have no idea. We're just going to try some VCOs and compare them to what a sack style does. Now I'm consistently getting between 14.5 to 15 miles to the gallon. With the sack style nozzles. They are a 125, just like these are a 125 that are going to be going back in. One thing you do want to make sure of is all of your copper crush washers come out. You don't want to double stack these because it's not going to seal proper and you're going to have headaches. And also when you're putting these in, I take just a little bit of Vaseline or a small dab of grease and put on there and push that crush washer on. That way when you're putting them in, they don't fall off. So that's just a little tip or trick that I have done. There's several injector videos on here on YouTube, and each one of us will talk about different things and how to do it different ways, but I just use a little bit of Vaseline or grease, just something to keep that crush washer held up in place. When you're putting these back in, the injector hold downs, these get torqued to 28 inch-pounds, which figures up to right around 7 foot-pounds, I believe, if you do the math on that. So right now we're going to go through and get these put back in place and try and get this truck back up and running. Well, not try. Get this truck back up and running because I have things I need to go do today because it is Father's Day and I've been instructed to be done by at least 1 o'clock. So let's get the truck back together. All right, when putting your injectors back in, I take just a little bit of oil and go all around that O-ring. And then this is your fuel delivery hole that comes from your fuel delivery tube. And what you'll do is you'll just put that right down in place. Got just a little bit of grease, just a little dab of grease on the crush washer. Take and line your delivery hole up. And then to snap these in place, I use the exhaust valve. And just go like that. That's all there is to it. And you can back that bolt off. You want to hear that snap. That tells you that they are seated in place. And I use the injector hold down cap to line it up. You don't want to make it tight. You just put the bolt in and start it. That way everything's lined up. Then you take your fuel delivery tube. You do the same thing. Put just a little bit of oil on that O-ring, and I did put new O-rings on it. And then slide those in there, and then you want to hear that snap just like that also. And now this one is ready to go. Whoops. I can go ahead and torque this down the injector hold down cap and finish the rest of them up. Truck's running good. Just gonna do a comparison, and I'm sorry, I have to eat my words. Those injectors I did get from Stealth are built on a Bosch body, so for some reason I was thinking they were built on an aftermarket body. I don't know why, but like I said, my apologies. They are built on a Bosch body, but we're gonna go ahead and send them to Ducky, get them checked out, make sure they're good, and kind of go from there. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with them yet. So right now we're just going to do a comparison between a sack style and a VCO. So right now I am due to fill my truck up. It's right about 1/8 of a tank. So it's a good time to do that comparison because I do need to put fuel in my truck. So we're just going to do a comparison between the Sachs 125 and the VCO 125 and see what kind of mileage we do gain or lose out of them. I'm still kind of frustrated with the fact of why I lost so much fuel mileage, because I was consistently getting 18.5, maybe 19 miles a gallon, and from doing the springs and those injectors I dropped. So we're just going to see what's going on. So some of you guys may be waiting for something else, and I did put the valve cover on. I think it looks pretty damn good with the red. So if you guys want one of these, pick these up from Garofalo Enterprises. Link is in the description. And also for Ducky fuel injection, his link is in the description too for the injectors. And well, for the injectors and for just his website. I'm not sure what injectors he sent me. I know they are a 125 VCO. If I can find them on his website, I will link them in the description. But check him out on Facebook and check him out on his website. And also he is on Instagram. Same thing with Garofalo Enterprises. So I think that's pretty much going to do it for the day. So if you don't mind, hit that like button, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not already done so. And we'll talk to you guys later on. Bye-bye.